Hello, Facebook family and friends. How are you today? Is LMI a terrible idea? That is the point of conversation today. Now, this is Moss from Investor Partner Group. We are property advisors, we are property developers, we are tax, SMSF, and business structures advisors. We help people create sustainable property portfolios without impacting their lifestyle. And we do that while educating them on how to do suburb selection, how to do property developments without sacrificing their lifestyle at all. Now, is LMI really a terrible idea? Now, you would hear, dud investors or, poor investors who would keep saying this, that you should never be paying LMI. If you take a step back and try to understand what really LMI is, or LMI, a lender's mortgage insurance, it's basically bank taking out an insurance against a poor risk, or, when you have less than 20% of a deposit, bank would seek a lender's mortgage insurance, protecting its own interest against a much more riskier mortgage. Basically, that's what LMI is. Now, how can you use LMI to your own advantage? A smart investor would always do that. They would understand the power of debt, and they would pay an LMI to save their own money and use banks' money to make more money. So the simplest sort of scenario to go about doing this is this. Let's assume that you're paying $7,000 worth of LMI, you're paying 3% per annum interest on it, to get an access to an extra, say, $50,000. Now, for that extra $50,000 that you're getting access to from the bank, because your LVR is improved from, say, 80% to, say, 88%, what is that potentially doing is that 50,000 is basically going to grow at the rate of what the property is going to grow, which is circa, say, 7 to 8%. I'm not talking about yield, I'm talking about the growth. Yield is on top, and we're not talking about yields at this stage. That growth basically means that in worst case scenarios, the payback time for LMI is usually between 3 to 4 years. So you would get that money back because you would catch that growth on that excess of $50,000 that the banks is given to you, where you're paying 3% extra interest on. Now, what's the best case scenario? The best case scenario is potentially 5 things. What are those 5 things? Well, LMI would help you, select a better asset, okay? Because you have much more borrowing power, you have improved your borrowing capacity, which basically helps you do better asset selection. It improves your borrowing, we've talked about it. It helps you generate better returns because you are doing better asset selection, your borrowing is improved, you have a much more bigger pool to play with, which means that you can generate better returns out of it. It also helps you to enter into the property market right now, rather than waiting for the deposit to happen in 5 months, 6 months, 8 months, or a year's time. It helps you enter into the property market right now. And the fifth and the most important thing, which majority of the time people forget, is that it's tax deductible. So if you go back to your tax agent and tell them that you've paid LMI, they can place it against your tax returns for 3 to 5 years, depending on how long the mortgage is. So it's great. You should definitely consider using LMI to your advantage, especially when you are creating your portfolios, you are in the foundation stage of your portfolio. If you don't have a lot of cash sitting on the side, or the deposit sitting on the side, use it to your advantage. Be a smart investor, don't be a dud investor. Thank you for listening to me. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to drop it in the box down below. Again, enjoy your day, enjoy your evening, stay safe, take care.